Your employer sends you to the clinic and you see a doctor and you think that doctor is really great and you're happy with the doctor's opinion on your situation and they say they're going to help you. And then you go back the next week and it's a different physician. Maybe that physician.
They just come in. They don't even look at me. They don't even treat me. They just ask me a couple questions and I'm just a number, you know? And I'm not saying it happens all the time, but sometimes they are just a number. You know, these industrial clinics, they're just seeing injured workers, and all they want to do is get them back to work. So I always tell my clients this, your adjuster is not your friend. Kind of when we're in a deposition, and even though the defense attorney is very nice, and hi, good morning, Mr. Whatever, you know, and they try to be nice, they want you to let your guard down.
Right.
So the nicer your adjuster is, you might want to take heed and say, hey, why is she or he being so nice?
Yeah, I agree with that.
They just want me to get back to work and not be a problem. They don't want to be. They want me to be a problem case. They don't want to deal with my injuries. So that could be an issue.
And they have the doctors at the clinics kind of conditioned to put the injured workers back because you got to think that they're the employer's doctors, the adjuster's doctors.
They're not supposed to be, but hey, listen. If the employer is sending all their injured workers to a clinic,
it's only natural that it would happen.
Now they're the doctors cause problems and they don't send the employees back to work and they take a long time with treatment. Do you think the employer is going to keep on sending their injured workers to those clinics? They're probably going to find a new one, right? New doctors.
Doesn't make sense that way.
Yeah. And I also wanted to talk about the fact that you said they might see one doctor and they might go back for their second appointment and they might see another doctor that they don't like. They might not even see a doctor. They might see a what's it called?
Physician's assistant. PA.
PAC.
PAC, that's correct.
Physician's assistant. So, you know, you don't always get a doctor that you see. And, you know, that's not always a problem. No. We might send them to a doctor's office where once in a while they might see the physician's assistant. I'm not saying that's an issue.
Right.
But when it's always a physician's assistant, there might be a problem there.
Yeah, if you think you have a serious injury, you need an orthopedic specialist maybe to look at it. And you're seeing a physician's assistant, you're saying, hey, where's my referral to the doctor I need to see, the specialist?
Right. What's an MPN? I mean, what does MPN mean?
Yeah, Medical Provider Network.
Provider Network.
Yeah, it's a system that the government has set up under the workers' compensation laws where the insurance carriers, they're allowed to select these doctors that will be the doctors that treat all of their injured workers. Right. And it's a limited group of doctors that's selected. I think the minimum requirement's like 3 within a certain very wide mile radius.
Little pearl I'm going to throw in there. Did you know that every insurance company has to have a select group of, I believe, nurses that need to help you out to make a doctor's appointment and be able to get a doctor's appointment and choose a doctor? So they should be doing that, and I believe within 5 days of you requesting that.
So there's going to be violations out there probably. And if you've come across this station and this information is pertinent to you and you have a question, just leave a comment on the live stream here and we're here in the chat and we're here to answer any of the questions that you have.
Right.
It's a denial of medical care and that gives you the right to self-procure treatment.
Correct.
And if it's later accepted, if your claim's later accepted, then the employer is probably going to be on the hook to pay for all that treatment.
If it's later accepted, do you have to go back into the MPN?
Technically, no, but you might choose to because it might get you further with the adjuster to get treatment that you need.
Because there might be some issues of continuity of care,
right?
Because what if you've already made a lot of headway with the doctor that you have and you really like them, and now you have to find a new doctor when your claim became accepted. So
especially if there's a surgery involved and you have a trusted doctor, you can make that argument that you should have that continuity, right?
Right.
I think the doctor has to sign a note or do something though, potentially, to keep that.
Yeah, the doctor has to show why there's a continuity of care that needs to happen and why you shouldn't be switched out of his care, I believe.
Right. And that also happens when a doctor's dropped from a medical provider network. Right. So maybe you're treating with a doctor and suddenly the adjuster says to you, hey, you don't get to treat with that doctor anymore, despite the fact that you've been treating with them for a year, because they're no longer in the medical provider network. So I think that there's a procedure that would allow you to keep that doctor despite that situation.
Right.
That's not necessarily in a denied context. That's in an accepted claim context.
Right.
But it's similar.
Right. So we have a primary treating physician. We've talked a little bit about it. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Once again,
Right.
you can reach out to us. Your primary treating physician might say, hey, you know what? I am going to take full care of you. I will be in charge of your care. However, I want you to see Dr. So-and-so. They're going to be your secondary treating physician. When they schedule you, you will go see them. However, the secondary treating physician only has a duty to report to the primary treating physician. They will review all the notes and the reports, and they will incorporate that into their reports, correct?
Yeah. So the secondary treating physician, it would be for something like maybe you have another, like an internal issue.
Correct.
Or maybe you're having you have a psychological claim as well, or need for care that the primary treating physician has identified.
Right.
And then the primary treating physician will make the referral will ask the adjuster for authorization to refer. There's some causation issues there too.
Right.
Was it caused by the work injury?
Right.
And is it compensable? Means, does the law allow us to extend liability to your employer for those injuries?
And I think we can go back to law school where they say, but for your initial injury, you wouldn't have these stomach problems.
And with workers' comp, it's primarily what your doctor's saying, though. I mean, if you have a doctor and they're in the NPN and you're not getting what you need, they're not making those referrals, or they're not even, like you discussed, some doctors, no bedside manner, you're at the clinic and they're not even addressing some internal issue or some secondary issue that you have. It doesn't have to be an internal issue. There could be an injury could require a neurologist. If you got hit in the head, maybe something fell on you and they send you to the clinic and they're treating your neck, but you're having headaches, you're dizzy.
Yeah.
You need a neurologist. Maybe you need a secondary treating physician.
Right. If you feel you're not getting the correct medical treatment, if you feel your doctor is not the correct doctor for you, if you don't have an attorney, let your adjuster know. But hopefully you do have an attorney and you reach out to us, but let your attorney know, because if you're not being seen correctly by your doctor, it can affect your claim and it could affect your future in the long run.